Welcome to my channel. Let me ask you something. Do you want to speak better English, think faster in conversations, and understand more words without using a dictionary? If your answer is yes, then you must start reading in English, but not in the way your school taught you. In this video, I will tell you why reading, the right kind of reading, can completely change your English. And if you stay till the end, you will understand how reading helped people just like you become fluent English speakers, even without grammar classes or long vocabulary lists. Chapter 1. Why Reading Works Like Magic. Let me tell you a story. There was a student named Amina. She wanted to learn English. She worked very hard. She tried grammar books, but the rules confused her. She watched English movies, but the fast talking made her feel lost. She even joined English-speaking clubs, but she felt shy and didn't speak much. She tried so many things, but nothing really helped her feel confident. Then, one day, something changed. Her teacher gave her a very simple English book. It was a storybook for children. "Read this every day," the teacher said. "Only 10 minutes is enough." At first, Amina laughed. Just reading? Will that help? But she trusted her teacher. So she started reading for 10 minutes every day. The book was easy. The sentences were short. The story was fun, and the best part, she could understand it. She started enjoying her reading time. After 1 week, she noticed something small. Some English words started to look familiar. After 2 weeks, she noticed more. When she watched a show, she could understand more words. She even repeated a few sentences out loud and they felt natural. After 3 weeks, she wrote a message to a friend and it sounded clear and correct. She didn't even think about grammar rules. The sentences just came out right. What happened? Reading worked like magic. Why? Because when you read, you see the language clearly. You see how words come together. You see how grammar works in real life. You don't need to memorize the rules. You just see them again and again. Your brain starts to understand the patterns. This is how we really learn a language, not by remembering grammar tables, but by noticing how the language is used. And reading is perfect for this. Think about it. In a book, you see complete sentences. You see questions, answers, and descriptions. You see the same words many times, but in different ways. This helps your brain understand meaning. You don't have to stop and think, what is the past tense? What is the rule? Your brain just knows because it has seen the pattern many times. This is something movies and listening can't always do. Movies move fast. People speak quickly. You don't always have time to stop and look. But reading is slow. You can stop. You can look again. You can feel the rhythm of English. And here's the best part. It gets easier. When you read a little every day, your vocabulary grows. Your grammar improves. Your confidence gets stronger. Remember Amina? After 2 months of reading every day, just 10 minutes a day, she started speaking more in her English club. She didn't feel shy anymore. She knew the words. She understood the questions. She could answer with real sentences. Then something amazing happened. Amina applied for a part-time job at a hotel. During the interview, she spoke clearly. She understood the questions. She gave answers with confidence. The manager was surprised. "Your English is very good," he said. She got the job, all because she started reading, not for hours, not with big difficult books, just 10 minutes a day with simple, fun stories. So if you are trying to learn English and you feel stuck, try reading. Not just any reading. Start with easy English, short books, simple stories, fun topics. Read what you enjoy. Don't worry about understanding everything. Just enjoy the story. Let your brain see the patterns. Let the language become familiar. It may feel small at first, but like Amina, you may start to notice something magical. You understand more, you speak more easily, and you feel more confident. Reading really works like magic. Chapter 2. Stories, not textbooks. Read what you love. Let's be honest. When most people think about reading in English, they feel bored. They remember school, big textbooks, long grammar explanations, difficult vocabulary, tiny print, no pictures, no fun, just rules and pressure. But that's not the kind of reading we're talking about. We're not talking about reading a grammar book. We're not talking about reading news articles with 20 words you don't know. We're talking about something completely different. We're talking about stories, fun stories, interesting stories, easy stories, stories that make you want to keep reading. Detective stories, romantic stories, comic books, fairy tales, adventures, magic, jokes, real life. Anything you enjoy, that's what you should read. This is the secret to learning English through reading. Read what you love. If you like stories about love, read them. If you like mystery, read detective books. If you like action, read something exciting. If you like superheroes, read comics. If you like short, funny stories, read those. It's your choice. And that's the key. When reading is fun, your brain pays attention. When it's fun, you want to keep reading. You don't stop after one page. You keep going. You forget that it's learning English. It just feels like enjoying a story. But here's the most important rule. The story must be easy. If a page has too many new words, it's too hard. Stop. Find something easier. You should understand about 90% of the words. You should feel relaxed, not stressed. You should not need a dictionary. Maybe one new word on a page. That's okay. But if there are 5, 10, 15 new words, that's too much. Easy and fun. That's the magic formula. Let me tell you a true story from 1965. In America, there was an experiment in a school. Many boys in the school were having problems. They didn't like reading. They didn't enjoy school. Their writing was poor. Teachers gave them reading tests and homework, but it didn't help. So one teacher had a new idea. He gave them a choice. Read anything you want. No tests, no homework, no pressure. The boys were surprised. "You mean we can choose?" "Yes." "Can we read James Bond?" "Yes." "What about comic books?" "Yes." The boys ran to the bookshelves. They picked up James Bond books, comic books, stories about spies, adventure, heroes, even sports. They started reading. Nobody forced them. Nobody told them to finish the book. Nobody said, You must read 10 pages. They read because they wanted to read. And then something amazing happened. After 2 years, the teachers saw a big change. The boys were better at reading. They understood more. Their vocabulary was stronger. But here's the surprise. Their writing also improved. And guess what? They never practiced writing. No writing exercises, no essays, no grammar drills, just reading. Why? Because when you read good stories, your brain learns how English works. You see real sentences. You see how ideas connect. You see grammar in action, not as rules, but as patterns. And when it's time to write, your brain remembers those patterns. The boys also started to enjoy school more. They didn't hate reading anymore. For the first time, they felt smart. All this happened because of one simple change. They read what they loved. So if you want to learn English through reading, don't go back to boring school books. Don't choose something just because it's educational. Choose what you like. Choose what makes you smile. Choose what keeps you turning the pages. If it's easy and it's fun, then it's perfect. You don't need a teacher. You don't need tests. You don't even need a pen. You just need a good story and a few quiet minutes each day. That's how real learning happens. Not from pressure, but from passion. Chapter 3. Reading changes everything, even grammar and vocabulary. Do you think grammar is boring? Do you feel nervous when someone says present perfect or past perfect continuous? You're not alone. Many students feel lost when they study grammar rules. They try hard to remember, but when it's time to speak or write, they still make mistakes. Why? Because they learned the rules, but their brain didn't learn the patterns. Here's something that might surprise you. You don't need to study grammar rules to understand grammar. You just need to see the grammar in action, again and again. That's exactly what reading gives you. When you read fun, simple stories every day, your brain starts to notice how English works. You don't need to know the name of a tense. You don't need to remember a rule. You just start to feel what sounds right. Let's look at a powerful example from real life. A few years ago, there was an experiment in 2 places, Fiji and Singapore. In both countries, students were learning English. Half of the students studied grammar the traditional way. Grammar books, grammar tests, grammar drills. The other half read storybooks, short, simple, fun stories. No grammar exercises, no grammar tests. Just reading. Guess what happened? After a few months, the students who only read stories scored higher on grammar tests than the ones who studied grammar directly. Let's say that again, clearly. The students who read stories learned more grammar than the students who studied grammar. How is that possible? The answer is simple. When you read, you see grammar again and again. In context. Real English. Real sentences. Your brain gets used to the patterns. You don't have to think about grammar. You feel it. You see phrases like, "She had already left when he arrived." "If I had known, I would have called you." "They were talking when the phone rang." After seeing these patterns 10, 20, 30 times, your brain remembers. Not because you memorized a rule, but because it makes sense. Now let's talk about vocabulary. Reading is the best way to learn new words, not by looking at a list, not by using flashcards, but by seeing the word again and again in different sentences. Take the word surprised. A student might read these lines. I was surprised by the ending of the story. She looked surprised when I told her the news. To my surprise, the door was open. Each sentence shows a new way to use the word. Slowly, the student starts to feel it. They don't just know the meaning, they know how to use it. They understand it better than someone who just memorized, surprised, feeling shocked or amazed. The brain needs repeated input. That means seeing the same word or structure many times in many different ways. That's exactly what stories do. One story might use surprised 2 or 3 times. If you read 5 stories a week, you might see the word 10 or 15 times, and you'll never forget it. Let's have some fun now. Imagine 2 students. One student is studying with a big grammar book. Every day, he reads about tenses, prepositions, and rules. He does grammar exercises every night. The other student is reading fairy tales. She reads about a dragon, a clever princess, and a talking cat. She reads for 15 minutes before bed. No grammar study at all. Now, guess who learns faster? The fairy tale reader. She starts using had gone and was eating without even thinking. She says things like, I've already done it naturally. She doesn't know the rule, but she uses it correctly. She's heard it in stories again and again. Meanwhile, the grammar book student still hesitates. Wait, is it past perfect or past simple? This is the power of reading. Reading changes everything, even grammar and vocabulary. It's not magic. It's just how the brain works. We learn language through input, through hearing and seeing the language used naturally over and over. So if you want to improve your grammar, don't open a grammar book. Open a story. If you want to remember new words, don't memorize a list. Read a short book, 10 minutes a day, one story at a time. That's all it takes. And soon you'll notice something. You're speaking better. You're writing better. And grammar, it just feels easy. Chapter 4. How to start reading. Make it easy, make it fun. So now you understand the power of reading. You know it helps with grammar. You know it improves vocabulary. You know it makes your speaking and writing better, even if you don't study rules. But maybe you still have one big question. How do I start? The answer is simple. Make it easy. Make it fun. Let's begin with the kind of book you should choose. Many students make this mistake. They try to read a big novel, maybe something like Pride and Prejudice or Harry Potter in English. But on the first page, they find too many difficult words. They feel confused. They stop reading. They think, reading is too hard. Here's the truth. You don't have to read big books. You don't have to read classic literature. You don't have to suffer. To learn English through reading, you need stories that are short, so you don't feel tired. Easy, so you don't need a dictionary fun, so you want to keep going. How easy should it be? You should understand about 98% of the words on the page. That means for every 100 words, only 2 words are new. If you don't understand 10 or more words on one page, the book is too hard. Choose something easier. Let me show you the difference. Text 1. 90% known words. Jerry glonked his Vinky with a snarkle. The room was Binkley, but Jerry was smorn. Hard to understand, right? You know a few words, but most are strange. You feel confused. You want to give up. Text 2. 98% known words. Jerry played with his toy in the living room. The room was quiet, but Jerry was happy. Now you feel comfortable. You understand almost everything. You can keep reading. That's how reading should feel, smooth and fun. So where can you find easy books? You can try graded readers, books made for English learners, children's storybooks, comic books, fairy tales, simple short stories online, bilingual books with both your language and English. Start small. Read for just 10 minutes a day. That's enough. And if you enjoy it, read a little more. Every word counts. We call it the million-word journey. It's the idea that if you read 1 million words in English, slowly, story by story, your English will transform. You'll speak more fluently. You'll understand more when you listen. Write faster and better, all without grammar classes or vocabulary lists. Let's look at a real example. A man named Alex wanted to learn Spanish. He didn't take speaking classes. He didn't study grammar. He just read. Every single day he read stories in Spanish. Short ones, easy ones, fun ones. He didn't stop to check every word. He just kept going. After 1 year, he had read over 1 million words. The result? He could speak Spanish. Fluently. Confidently. All because of reading. He said, "I didn't feel like I was studying. I was just enjoying stories, but the language came naturally." That's the key. Reading is not just about learning grammar. It's not just about words on a page. It's about training your brain with patterns, with sounds, with real language. It's about getting input, and your brain does the rest. When you read stories, you start thinking in English, you speak faster, you listen better, you feel more confident, and the best part? It feels fun, like playing, not like studying. Let me leave you with this. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to turn the page. That's all. You don't have to read for hours. You don't need a special plan. Just pick up a short, easy book and turn the page, then turn another and another. Day by day, story by story, your English will grow. Reading works. Reading is powerful, and reading is waiting for you. So, why not start today? If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me, what's the first book you're going to read in English? Or do you already have a favorite story? I read as many comments as I can, and I'd love to hear from you. Let's talk about books, English, and your learning journey. And remember, reading is not just about books. It's about building your English, step by step, word by word. So find a fun book, start reading today, and keep learning with me right here on this channel.